So now we wait for everybody to come on and join. Hi, hey, somebody's joined us. Looks like a few people. Hopefully that notification goes out soon so we can get that business. Now it looks like everybody's jumping on, slowly but surely. All right, so we got people joining left and right, so we shall get to the action. Let's see, I think that's good. Is the audio good? Everything good, guys? Video feed, audio, everything's good? I just want to make sure before we get going and everything that everything's good. Let me know. Audio good? Video's good? Hell yeah, GoPro. I figure we're going to get a lot of GoPro stuff today. Like, I can already get that vibe. All right, so everybody's jumping on right now. So before I get into the Q&A, so we're going to do, if you got any stock market related questions, entrepreneurship, basically any questions in general, I'm here to answer, and all that good stuff. So first off, I just want to pass on some information. So I recorded a video today that's coming out Sunday that's going to be sick, but it's not for the faint of heart, guys. So if you get butt hurt really easily, don't watch that video, but it's going to be a sick video. That's coming out Sunday. It's a motivational video, just so you know. I'm releasing a free motivational book probably next weekend. I'm working on it right now. It's the last little warm-up book, I call it, before I get ready for the big book I'm launching this fall called How to Get Rich in a Recession. So I'm going to release that for free for you guys. Very motivational, a lot of stories about my life and those kinds of things. So one of those books that should get you freaking jacked up. That's all I know. So I created, if you follow me on Snapchat, you already know this, but basically last month I created a stock market account, like a new account that I'm only going to be posting on Snapchat. It's like a real account and real money's in there and whatnot through Fidelity. And basically, I've got $2,000 in that account so far, and we're just going to see what I can build it up to over the next, 5-10 years or whatever. And that's only on Snapchat, so if it's like Snapchat exclusive content. So if you follow me on there, you're going to be able to see the account and kind of, I update as I'm doing trades with that account and all those kinds of things. And then the last piece of information before we get to this Q&A is 4 stocks I'm buying. August video hit 11,000 views in the first 48 hours. We've never ever in the History Channel had a video get over 10,000 views in the first 48 hours, guys, and it did it. So absolutely crazy. The numbers are just getting crazy. So anyways, that covers all the information there. Vid coming out Sunday. Look forward to that. Motivational. Obviously, stock market recap coming out tomorrow. Free motivational book. Hopefully I'll have that finished up. Just a small book that should come out next weekend. Follow me on Snapchat. If you don't, you're missing out. And then 4 stocks I'm buying, just tore it up. So, all right, guys, I think I'm ready. It looks like, most people have joined. So let's go ahead and start getting into this Q&A here. All right. So what's your Snapchat? Oh, the Snapchat code should be on the description of this video. If it's not, it's on the code of every video I pretty much produce. It's on there. All right. What price are you willing to sell GoPro? How did I know we were going to get GoPro questions right off the bat? I don't have a specific price in mind for selling GoPro. All I know is I'm not selling GoPro anytime soon. I believe in the company for at least, next year or two. So I don't see myself selling anytime soon, guys, to be completely honest with you. What do I think about Starbucks? I like Starbucks. It used to be on the 4 stocks I'm buying for a few months there, and then I kicked it off, 2 or 3 months ago. And I don't know. I like the company. I just didn't like it as much as some of the other companies, but it's very well run, obviously. Selling $5 lattes when you make them for 80 cents is pretty freaking good business at the end of the day, guys. And they're getting into food, more international expansion. Starbucks is a great company. One of those companies you just buy, like a McDonald's, you just buy it and hold it for the next 10, 20 years, and you don't even bother looking at the stock price. It'll just all work out in the end. All right. Stock market versus cryptocurrency, two total different things there. They're so dramatically different. I think the real thing right now is more like, is it smarter to be a cryptocurrency investor or a commodities investor or currency investor? Because a lot of people mess around with currencies, but now I'm thinking cryptocurrencies might be smarter than actual currencies because there's so much action in that if you're a trader. How many shares of GoPro did you buy? Well, over time, I bought a lot. And then I owned a lot of option contracts, like a ridiculous amount of option contracts some are expiring in 2018 that I bought like over a year ago. Some are expiring in 2019. So I have a lot of shares in GoPro and a lot of call options in GoPro, which is why it's my number one biggest investment. Did you sell your GoPro stocks? No. Holy smokes, there's a lot of GoPro questions. Hopefully this doesn't just turn into a GoPro live stream. Is GoPro worth the current price now? Well, I'm not selling anytime soon. What do you think about Kohl's? Kohl's, it's a well-run retailer, but man, it's hard to get behind retailer. I mean, I just got behind Michael Kors. I just started buying some Michael Kors stock, which actually for that Snapchat account, I bought some Michael Kors stock in that account, my regular account as well. But I don't know, man. Those stores that they don't really have much differentiation or something that's like a brand, it's hard for me to get behind any of those type of retailers there, guys. Active or passive investing? For me, it's all about active investing. Active investing is definitely the way to go. I think you'll get much better returns as an active investor. But that doesn't mean be too active, because you can be too active in doing trades every day and stuff like that and getting totally unfocused, especially if you're a long-term investor. You don't want to go that route unless that is the route you want to go. But you want to be active where you're always looking into things, always paying attention, but not like making judgment decisions because a company reported one number or the other number. What time did you wake up today? I woke up at, it was around 10 a.m., which is somewhat early for me, actually. I know, crazy, 10 a.m. So the market had already been open for 3.5 hours when I woke up. Small amounts, because I'm in Vegas, by the way, guys, just so you know. Index funds versus individual stocks. For me, it's all about individual stocks. Like if you know me, you watch the channel, like all about individual stocks. Like index funds, I believe I'll always outperform index funds in the long term. So maybe in the short term, one of my stocks struggle, but long term, I'm going to eat up index funds every single time. And it's been that way since I was 19 years old. I'll always kill it. But I put in a lot of work. It's a lot of freaking work to it. You got to have the passion for it. You got to have the work if you want to beat the market. Is Facebook still a buy? Facebook's an interesting stock. So Facebook, what Facebook has going for it right now for, let's say the next couple of years, is going to have revenue keep going up. It's going to have profits keep going up. Like that's like set in the stone. That's like set in the sand, right, guys? But the issue with Facebook stock, I see, in 2018, that Instagram growth is going to slow dramatically, and that's going to slow all the user numbers they have. So it'll be interesting to see how Wall Street takes that. Does Wall Street say, oh, that's okay? Or does Wall Street start to panic and say, oh my gosh, their user growth is slowing. That means, everything's going to die with Facebook, and then the stock drops. I don't know. I almost wish that would happen in 2018 where, everybody panics and like, oh my gosh, Facebook users are slowing and whatnot. I would get involved with that stock in a hot second, but we'll see how it all works out. I'm not an owner of Facebook, though. What do you think about Chinese stocks? Very interesting, but you got to look into all the legal things about Chinese stocks. Sometimes, honestly, you have literally no rights as a shareholder holding some Chinese stocks. Believe me, I've looked into it before. And when you actually go through the legal mumbo jumbo, it's scary, guys. It's freaking scary. So, do you leverage in your investment? Not anymore. I don't margin out. I don't do any of that stuff anymore. I learned my lesson. I got freaking eaten up by that. Let's just say that, guys. All right. Let's see what else we got here. How old are you and how long since you have started to invest in stocks? Currently, I'm 27, turning 28 in a few months. And I started when I was 19 as far as actually buying stocks. I think I started looking into things when I was 18, but I didn't start actually buying until I was 19. Opinion on Snapchat stock. Love the company. Still not invested in it. I'm hoping it drops more, honestly. If it was to drop under $10, I would buy it in a hot second. That's just my feeling on Snapchat. Have you broke even in GoPro? I don't think so, because if we remember, I was down 30% or 31% when I posted 4 stocks I'm buying. And I know the stock went up like 2% yesterday, but then today it went up like, 19 or 20%. So still, it shouldn't be break even on GoPro. I should still be down, I would say 10%-ish, maybe somewhere around there on GoPro currently. When does the market close in Vegas? Closes 4 in Ohio. Here it closes at 1. Yep, here it closes at 1, and it opens here at 6:30. So if you want to be a trader in Vegas, man, you got to wake up early. It's not like living on the East Coast when I lived in Charlotte and the market didn't open until 9:30, and then it closed. And then what's crazy is on the East Coast in Charlotte, like when the market was closed in the wintertime, right, when it would be closing, it was already like almost nighttime. All right. Let's see what else we got. Are the fears about Trump being impeached overblown? Man, I don't even know. I don't even pay attention to any of that political garbage. Any tips for a 15-year-old investor? Just start learning everything you can. Buy books, rent books from the library. Watch my channel, watch other people's channel, figure out which strategy you want to do. So when the time comes and you start investing when you're 18, you know which route you want to go. You've already done all the research into things. You can open up like a practice trading account. I don't know. I'm sure there's plenty of online services that do like practice trading accounts. Look into that. Best book to start investing with no knowledge in the markets. This book linked in your description is the very best book in the world. It's written by this guy named Jeremy. No, the best book, oh man, there's a really good book for beginning investors that I have linked. It should be linked in this video's description or pretty much every video. And it's not The Intelligent Investor. The Intelligent Investor I recommend for people that are a little more advanced. But dang, I can't remember that. But I know it's linked in like all my videos description. Look, and it's called like my 3rd favorite book on stock market investing, whatever. I cannot, I'm having a brain fart right now, but it's linked in all my descriptions. You can check that out. I think that's a really good book for beginners. It's probably the best book for beginners, actually. Have you thought about using margin to buy conservative dividend stocks? Absolutely not. I hope to never mess with margin ever again for the rest of my life. I lost $100,000 in 1 year. Like, when that happens, you just like, fuck that. Or excuse me, sorry for cussing, guys, but no, not messing around. Do you believe there will be a stock market correction in 2017? Not sure. I hope so. I honestly hope so. We need a stock market correction. In my opinion, some of these stocks are out of control, but will we get it? I'm not convinced of that. Do you think your business pays much taxes? Maybe. I don't know. It depends on what we're comparing it to. Are we comparing it to Apple? Because if we are, no. What's your view on Tesla's earning numbers? I actually haven't even gotten to look at Tesla's earning numbers yet. I haven't. But Tesla, like, earnings numbers, irrelevant right now because they're just launching the Model 3. Their earnings numbers are going to start mattering 3-4 years from now. Now it's just about the build up in are they selling 300,000 cars a year, 500,000? Are they doing 700,000, a million? Like, that's all that matters. Amount of cars right now. The earnings and what's actually coming in as far as profits goes, that's not going to matter for a while as far as Tesla stock in judging that one. Do you have to use Kindle Unlimited when you publish a book on Amazon? No, you do not. I just do it because I notice like a lot of people that are on my channel also like Kindle Unlimited. So that's why I do it for my books, but you don't have to do that. What selling price is good for GoPro? I'm not selling anytime soon. Share us your portfolio. Watch my 4 stocks I'm buying every month and you'll get to know exactly what's in my portfolio. What is the exact steps you do to try to find it and invest in a company? That's such a long question that it's not even worth addressing because I could go off on that for like a half an hour. So I don't want to take up all the time in the live stream. But it all starts with an idea. Maybe I'm walking around the store. Maybe I'm doing this, doing that. It all starts with an idea, and I see a product or a service, and I'm like, can I invest in that? And now I've have so many companies' knowledge in my head that like I already know if somebody's a public company or not. But it starts with an idea. You see, I don't know, a tube of toothpaste, and you're like, wow, that's a cool tube of toothpaste. Is that a public company? Who owns that? That's just how it all starts with an idea. And you go from there in the research and what I look for in a company. That's all in my book and on a ton of videos I've done this video on a channel and whatnot. Is Vivint Solar a good buy in your opinion? I don't know. I really don't know. I think Tesla could be the biggest player in solar. I think Tesla actually has a chance to be, 5-10 years from now, with the scale Tesla's going to build up to. I think Tesla is probably the biggest threat for any solar company out there. And I think if you're investing in a solar company for the long term, I think you got to be aware of Tesla in that game. They're gonna sneak in there, guys. and take some people by surprise, and they have a great chance to be the number one in that market. Hey Jeremy, how's your photo video business going? It's going too good, like too busy right now, and I got so much other stuff I want to do, and it's going too good literally right now. Literally, I was about to set up for the live stream, and I've got a customer calling me right now, and I'm just like, ugh, come on, give it a break. What would be the max PE you would buy a stock at? There's not necessarily a max PE because I've invested in unprofitable companies. I rarely do it, but every once in a while, if I see so much upside that I have to do it, like a GoPro, I'll do it. So, there's no max PE I'll pay for a company. It's just depending on what I see for that company over the next few years and how is it going to play out. Any ideas about MasterCard stock? No, I don't really have an opinion about that one. How do you come back after a big loss? How do you come? Man, well, Lord knows I've come back from bigger losses than probably anybody in the market. And it just depends on attitude, right? It comes down to attitude at the end of the day. Do you get depressed about that? Do you let that hold you down? Do you think about that nonstop? I lost $100,000 in 2015 fucking around trying to, do stuff I had no business doing. Had no business doing that stuff. No business messing around with margin, trying to short-term trade, doing everything that got away from me. And what I did is I just overcame it. I started businesses. I started getting back to my roots, which is investing for the long term, investing, looking out the next 3 years, 5 years, and thinking like, where's the company going from there, and doing all the old stuff I used to do. And that's how you get back from a big loss at the end of the day. It's all about perspective. It's all about, understanding it was a learning matter. It sucks. Yeah, absolutely. But you learn from it is better. And if you're young and you make a mistake, you take a loss, a lot better to learn that when I learned it at 24, 25 years old than learn it at, 45, and instead of $100,000 loss, it's $1 million loss or something like that, guys. So that's my view on it, and that's how you get over a big loss. Are you getting close to buying Snap? I'm still not getting close to buying Snap. I'm just not there yet on Snap. Is it better to start a business or invest in the stock market? Business without question. It's not even remotely close. But you can still start a business and be an investor. I've got multiple businesses and I'm still a stock market investor. So at the end of the day, you can do multiple. But if it's one or the other, start a business. Because think about it. Starting a business, most businesses you can start for very little money. And the upside is so ridiculous. I mean, if you are a great investor, you're going to get 20% a year. So think about that. You get 20%, let's say you use $5,000, that's the amount of money you have in the stock market. You get 20% a year. It's going to add up, and absolutely it will be a big number 20, 30 years from now. But guess what? You spend $5,000 to start a business like I have, and it'll produce you, hundreds of percent return as long as you make it into a success. At the end of the day, it comes into strategy and execution. You make it into a success. I mean, I've made hundreds of percent return on that original $5,000 I started in my real estate business. It's not even close, guys. And then I started this channel for free, and look where we've gotten here. Alrighty, what else do we have? What is your opinion on oil and energy stocks? I can't get behind any of those oil and energy stocks right now because there's no consistency in the price of oil, and it's like, where's oil going? Is it going to, $20 a barrel? Is it going to $100 a barrel? Fracking in the United States has just screwed up the whole thing, By the way, if you guys, I feel bad. I hope I'm not missing any super chats because the comments are coming in super fast. But if I ever forget a super chat, let me know, guys, because I don't want to. That would be pretty messed up if I forgot that. All right, what do you think about Fitbit as a company? Fitbit as a company, Fitbit as a company. I mean, it's such a low. Yeah, I mean, there's some value there in Fitbit, but I can't get behind it just because I'm so uncertain of its future, and there's Apple Watch there and all these things, and there's some value there, but I just can't get behind a company like Fitbit at the end of the day, guys. All right, please talk about Cruise stock, Jeremy. Cruise stock, well, I love the company. I got out of that one, obviously, and I had Michael Kors to list this past month. But Cruise, it's a great company, so well run. They literally have my favorite CEO of any company in the world is the CEO of Cirrus Logic. I think he is the best CEO out there. That guy just is on his game, man. Jason Rode over there. Oh my goodness! Like if I had I should start like a Hall of Fame of CEOs up there. I would have Jason Rode as number one. That guy is so good. So I love Cruise. Great company, very well run. Not invested in it right now, but it did drop. I saw to I think 59 yesterday. So now I'm looking at it and I'm like, maybe I should get back in that one. I actually just listened to their conference call last night. And it sounds like they're not going to have much growth this year. It's in like 2018, the next 4 quarters. I think they have a potential to grow the following year if they can get the voice biometrics out there, which is basically your iPhone, being able to unlock your iPhone through voice, which is so freaking sick. So like, say I'm I get an email, right, and I'm in the kitchen and my phone's in the office. I can say, hey Siri, read me my voicemail. You cannot do that currently because you would have to unlock your phone, and I don't even know if Siri could read voicemails, or read an email. But with the new Cirrus Logic type chip, if they can get to that point next year, you'll be able to do that, and it will unlock your phone, and it knows your voice versus anybody else's voice, guys. So pretty cool stuff. We'll see if they can get there, but great one, company. Congrats on GoPro earnings. Thank you. I still got a long way to go on that one. I'm a teen and can't invest in the stock market. Do you think the stock market games are good to learn about? I don't know. I've never played a stock. Well, you know what? I did play a stock market game thing about it in high school, like social studies class or one of those weird classes. Like we did some type of stock market game. They can be good for like sparking ideas, but at the end of the day, just stay learning as a teen. Just stay learning about stocks. Be looking into companies. Be paying attention to everything, and you'll have a way big heads up over everybody else when you start investing. When you turn 18 and graduate high school. Who do you decide when to sell a stock? Would you ever do collab with other financial YouTubers? I've never done a collab ever in the history of my YouTube channel. I wouldn't say I'll never do it, but at the time I don't do it or anything like that. What do you think about buying gold? I like silver better. I like silver better than gold. I own silver personally, and I think it's just I think it's better than gold in my opinion over the long term. Silver has more use cases than gold. Let's just put it that way. Other than gold's jewelry, and that's that at the end of the day. Thoughts on GM stock? Auto sales slowing. P still very low. GM. I can't get behind any of the automakers. I just don't know if they're ready to compete in an electric world when everything's electric cars. I don't think any of the automakers have taken it serious enough. The whole electric game, I just don't think they've taken it serious, and that's why I can't buy any of them, even if they're at a 5p or 7p. It's so insanely low, but I can't do it. How many times do you look at your stock prices in a given day? Depends. I usually look at least once. I'll look at stock prices during the day. Today, since GoPro was so crazy, I probably looked at least 3 or 4 times at stock prices today, because it was like up 3% at one point, and then it was like up 18%, and it was kind of jumping around. So I looked at GoPro a few times, and it's obviously more fun when one of your stocks is having a great day like that to look more often than you usually would, but usually like 2 or 3 times a day. Hey Jeremy, do you think Tesla is overvalued? I think Tesla is so overvalued. I wouldn't touch Tesla, although I love Tesla. It's going to dominate the game in the autos, but I'm not touching that stock. It's just out of ridiculous, valuation in my opinion right now. What is your most profitable source of income? Everything I do is straight profit. Like any type of income I get, it's straight profit. I don't sell anything that really costs me money. Thinking about now, my marketing company, my real estate marketing company, nothing, all that costs me is time. It doesn't cost me any like product stuff. My books, ebooks, obviously Amazon takes commissions out of that. Obviously YouTube takes half the money, but at the end of the day, it's all straight profit stuff. Everything that I have coming to me, Amazon affiliate links, like any type of income I have is straight profit. Hey Jeremy, what company so you use to buy? I don't know what that means. Thoughts on UA stock, Under Armour? Good company. Still, I think it's dropped substantially, but it's still, I believe, a pretty high PE. So a very well-run company. I should look into that one again. I haven't looked into it in, 3, 4, 5 months. I should seriously look into Under Armour again. All right. Why does the media continue to bash Snapchat? I can't seem to understand why. Okay, so there's a lot of reasons why the media wants to bash Snapchat. One, they got a CEO who's 23, 24 years old, and a billionaire, and he's kind of he's got a lot of confidence and whatnot. I mean, people don't like to see young people getting that kind of money. Let's be honest, guys, at the end of the day. Also, a lot of people don't understand Snapchat. A lot of older folks right now are saying, I'll never use Snapchat. They said the same shit about Facebook. You rewind time 8, 9 years ago. You know what every person over the age of 30 was saying about Facebook 8, 9 years ago? I'll never have a Facebook account. That's stupid. That is something little kids use. Oh my gosh, Facebook, like, oh, why? What are the kids doing on there? Oh my gosh, blah, blah, blah. That was literally everybody over the age of 30 was thinking about Facebook like 8 or 9 years ago when I was graduating high school. That was their opinion on it. They didn't understand it or anything like that. And time just goes on, and look at almost everybody I know above 30 now has a Facebook account. Like, it's crazy, right? Everybody's got Facebook accounts. And, Snapchat's at that place right now that Facebook was 8 or 9 years ago, where the older folks are kind of like, oh, that's stupid. Oh my gosh, my kid could get stalked from it, or whatever they want to fucking talk about right now, right? That's whatever they want to talk about, and they're going to use any excuse, and then all of a sudden they're going to figure out they're missing out on a huge opportunity. And they'll jump on the platform and whatnot. It's the same thing over and over again. Media will probably continue to bash Snapchat, and it's easier when the stock's going down, because then you can kind of double whammy and be like, oh, look at the stock's doing bad, so it's a bad company or whatever, guys. And that's just the way it goes. And it gets the views at the end of the day. If it gets the views, they're going to talk about it. So people are clicking on those stories. They want to see it lose. If houses crashed again, would you consider investing in real estate personally? Yes, depending on what level of wealth I was at that time. Like, in order for me to real estate invest, I would need to have substantial amounts of money. So, it all comes down to timing at the end of the day for that. Any day trading advice? I'm not a day trader, so no. Snapchat's revenue are also very low compared to Facebook. Yeah, no kidding. Fucking Facebook was created in 2005? And Snapchat was created in 2012, 2013? Like, Facebook better have way more revenue. They've been around way longer. They got Facebook, they got Instagram, they got WhatsApp and all those things. And they got a $400 billion valuation on Facebook. They better have more revenue, and they better be profitable when you got a $400 billion valuation or whatever they have. Like, that's insane. You better be making some money. Any thoughts on Robinhood app? I have not used it yet, so I do not have an opinion on that. I hope there are not kids here. I hope there are not. No, I do hope there are kids here. I'm sorry, I do cuss like in real life, but I try not to in my videos too much. But that video coming out Sunday, I dropped some F-bombs. I was ranting like a beast. Like, holy smokes, guys, that's coming out Sunday. So don't watch the Sunday's video for the faint of heart, guys. I'm just going to be honest with you. That's going to hit some people in the mouth. Amazon thoughts, target price. Amazon's the future. I don't know. I mean, it's got such a high PE on that company. They need to get like 5 times more profitable than they are now in the future to make that PE justifiable. Love the company. It's like a Tesla for me. Love the company. I believe in it so much long term. I just can't buy it because of valuation concerns. So should I go to a regional campus and save money, or should I go to State University and spend most of my money? Always go, and I'm guessing by regional campus you mean like community college. Always go community college, especially for the first 2 years. And if you're trying to get a degree, like most colleges will, at the end of the day, they'll decide, they'll take you in. I mean, I know in Arizona where I went to college, you could transfer your credits from community college to university. So, and you'll save like a ridiculous amount of money. Like if I had to spend $1,500 on classes at community college, that would have been like $5,000 plus if I would have went to ASU or U of A or something like that, guys. So, all right, what BlackBerry stocks? Haven't looked into BlackBerry in a while, so I do not have an opinion on BlackBerry. How would you go about raising capital for a trading business? I made 80% in 2 years trading. They'll probably want you to get a lot more experience in that. So you're going to need probably at least 5 years for people to take you super serious as far as if you're raising money at that point. I'm not saying it's impossible, but prove yourself over the next 5 years, and then people will look at your track record and be like, wow, this guy's killing the market. Then maybe at that point they're more interested. And then it's just, raising capital. I've never raised capital personally. All the money I've made is from me and investing in something else. So What are your thoughts on PayPal? Don't have a lot of thoughts on PayPal, honestly. I really don't. I just don't have a lot of thoughts on it. Sorry about that. Is GoPro going to keep increasing, or do we cash out now while it's up? I don't know. I mean, I'm in GoPro for the long term. So, does it keep increasing next week or tomorrow or Monday? Does it go up? I mean, fuck, I don't know. Maybe. I'm in it for the long term. I'm in it for the long haul at the end of the day. So, did you go to college? What did you major in? I majored in business, and I went for 2.5 years, and I dropped out because money got me. Money got me, and I was just like, I had so many. I was starting to invest at that time. I was doing really good. I got a good job at 20, 21 years old. I started at like 40K, which is a lot of money when you're that young. And so between the job and the opportunities I had there to move up the ranks, and also investing, like school at that point, I had learned everything I wanted to learn, and I got everything I wanted to get out of college. I got everything. And so I was like, I could stay here or transfer to university so I can get a bachelor's degree over the next 2 years and spend all this money to do that. Also, I can have a degree sitting on my wall, or I can just, focus on investing and focus on all that stuff. And that's what I did. So, good channel. Thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed the channel. What's way better, more reliable, awesome? Oh, I guess that's to somebody else. What will you do if GoPro falls into bear market territory in the next quarter? I don't know. I don't know how long people have been on the stream, but I'm holding GoPro for at least the next year or two, so no time soon. Thoughts on Freshpet? I got in at 9, 10-ish, and now it's 16, 17 now. I haven't looked into Freshpet in a while. I remember I talked about that company when it was like a $7 stock or $8 stock. It was super low, and I talked about it on, I don't know, 3 stocks under $10 to buy now or something like that. I don't remember what the title of the video was, but I remember talking about it, and I researched it at that time, and I liked the company. I'd never invested in it, unfortunately, but I don't know enough about what's going on in the current situation to have an opinion on it. But I know people just want to feed their dogs and cats and every animal out there more and more healthy stuff. So great channel. Keep it up. Oh, thank you, Bullet Outdoors. What do you think about Bitcoin? Interesting, but I'm not buying it or anything like that. Thoughts in NVIDIA? I like NVIDIA. A bit of a high valuation now at this point, but I love the things they're doing with artificial intelligence, stuff they're doing with self-driving cars. They're in the forefront of some of the biggest technologies in the world that are going to be driving the world over the next 100 years or whatever. You know what I mean? So they're at the forefront of some of these things, and that's so cool. But it's not a stock I'm invested in right now. But if it dropped a lot, I might get involved with that. It's a great company. What do you think about Chipotle? I love Chipotle. I eat some Chipotle like at least once a month. So Chipotle stock, still high valued, and they've got to get another growth lever beyond just the Chipotle platform, in my opinion. So until they prove that they can get another something going, the next Chipotle, I believe I won't be investing in Chipotle, but it's still a good company. At the end of the day, it's just got a high valuation on it. What watch are you wearing? I don't know. This is some watch I bought on Amazon. I buy all my watches on Amazon. I love them. Like, I buy cheap watches because I break them all the time, and I'm not a watch guy anyways, but I love to just wear a watch. So I've never bought like the most I've probably ever spent on a watch is maybe $100. Like, I've never bought an expensive watch in my life, and probably never will. If someone knew nothing about stocks or investing whatsoever, where is the best place to learn from scratch? Check out my playlist on Stock Market for Beginners. That should help. Go to your library, read stock market books, all that kind of stuff. Just be up and up on things. Is Steve Wynn one of your favorite businessmen? Yeah, absolutely he is. He would be up there on that list of great CEOs as well. Steve Wynn, he would be up there, man. One of the greats all time. Some people don't like his business because it has gambling in it, and it has liquor, and what else goes on in a casino. You know what I mean? So some people don't like that, but the dude's a business freaking god at the end of the day. My puppy ate 5 of my watches in the past 3 months. Whoa, that's not healthy for that puppy. How do you decide when to sell a stock? If I feel like there's something better for me to put money in, or if I feel like the company's gotten overvalued. If the company's gotten overvalued or I got something better to put my money to, that's when I sell stock, and pretty much for no other reason other than that, honestly. What do you think about Shopify and Twitter? Two interesting companies. Twitter's not really so much a growth company, although it's having a pretty decent year. Shopify is high growth. Haven't gotten to fully look into Shopify, so I don't even want to give my opinion on that one because I just haven't looked into it. But I know there's a lot of people making money off Shopify stores, so I should look into it because it's something not just to look into the stock, but to look into it from a perspective of like, what are they going to make off of, or how can you make money off of Shopify as an entrepreneur and those type of things. Jeremy, is investing considered a passion or just a thing you do? For me, it's passion. What drives me to read, what drove me to get out of bed when I was trying to fall asleep and I was like, I really want to listen to that Cirrus Logic conference call. Like, what drove me to get out of bed at 12:30 at night last night when I was trying to fall asleep and listen to the Cirrus Logic conference call is passion at the end of the day. So that's what it comes down to. How many books have you read? I have no clue, to be honest. I really don't. How will you celebrate 100K subscribers? I don't know. I have some ideas, but nothing I want to share yet. I don't even want to share that. What do you think about AMD? Interesting stock, but not a company. It's a little out of my circle of competence. I've really spent a lot of time trying to understand AMD, and I just can't really understand how they'll get massive growth behind that company, which kind of what the company needs in those kind of things. And they really need a lot of profit growth. It's just a little out of my circle of competence. Spent a lot of time on it, just not there with it. Have you tried an app called Stash? If yes, is it worth using? I've not tried it. Negative. Thoughts on Baba? Great company. Alibaba, great company. If I had to stick my money in a Chinese company, it would probably be Alibaba. I'll be completely honest. It's just a phenomenally run company. What's his name? Jack Ma over there. He's a freaking genius. What stocks will likely crash in 2018? I don't know. Will stocks crash? You might know some information I don't. Are stocks crash in 2018? Oh, man. How much money do you need to start investing full time? Not sure what that means. Does that mean like you quit your job and just invest? If so, then you probably need millions, especially if you're young. Would getting a finance degree be good for day trading? Not really. You need to know base stuff, but you're mostly reading charts and looking at patterns and stuff like that, and you don't need a finance degree to be a day trader, to be completely honest. Listen, man, the market is overvalued because on QE. Now that we are in deep shit, when do you think the correction starts? It's been like that for a long time. Like QE, all this stuff, printing the money, inflation, blah, blah, blah. It's all been going on for such a long time. It's just kind of like a never-ending cycle. And everybody's kind of got to have everybody's back because we owe China so much money. So China is kind of in a situation where they always have to have the United States succeed, because if the United States falters, then we falter on all those loans, and they don't want that because that's a lot of freaking money and all the interest we pay them. And then we need China to succeed for a billion different reasons. So the world's just going to keep turning on. Will corrections happen? Will recessions happen here and there? Absolutely. But as far as like doomsday scenario, just doesn't make sense. First time in your live stream video. Really impressed by your wealth of knowledge. Keep it up. Happy to have you in the live stream. I don't know if this is your first video you watched or not, but happy to have you here. Would you buy GoPros at today's price? Well, I bought GoPro at a lot more expensive prices, so obviously I would absolutely. I'm not buying anymore, and I haven't been buying anymore for at least a month-ish now, about a month. And just because I was so heavily invested in it already, and I wanted to diversify a bit and get some money in other stocks and things like that. So, am I investing? Am I buying? No, but at the same time, I probably would be if I was already investing and I didn't have so much money in stocks and call options and all that good stuff. What is the biggest influencer in stocks? What is the biggest influencer in stocks? I don't know what that means. So it sounds like an interesting question. Try to get back to me on that, what you mean specifically. Should I sell bots or will it keep going up? I've never even heard of that ticker symbol, so that's not one I'm familiar of. Are you concerned that a recession will hit next year? I mean, it's always out there. It's always a possibility. My thing is I just need to make sure I'm ready for it if it does happen. How much do you have in GoPro? Too much. More than I had yesterday, I'll tell you that much, based upon what the stock price did today. What is the best stock you have ever bought? Oh boy. Well, that's a tough question because there's been stocks I've held for like a day and they just happen to go up 20% on earnings or something, and then I just sell out right away. There's been stocks that went up hundreds of percent in a year and a half time. But the stock I probably made more money on than any stock ever was probably a stock named Cabela's, which is an outdoor retailer. Started getting involved with that one, I think, in 2011-ish, and got out of that one fully in about 2014. And that was my biggest investment for several years. And yeah, that was probably the one I think I made the most money ever on. As far as a dividend stock I made the most dividends on, that was a company named King Digital that is behind the Candy Crush game and some of those games. They got sold out to Activision Blizzard. I used to get a lot of money in dividends. I don't even want to say the amount, but it was sick. What percentage of your income come from monetization of your YouTube videos? A lot. I mean, it's substantial amount of money I make just off of YouTube ads. I don't know the specific amount, but it's a good chunk of change. How do you evaluate a company that isn't profitable? How do you evaluate a company that isn't profitable? Trying to think about what the company will potentially be bringing in for profits 5 years from now, 3 years from now. That's kind of how I'm thinking about it, and then making my decision based upon where I see that company, can that company make $50 million a few years from now, 100 million, 200 million, comes down to a business decision at the end of the day. Financial information. Thank you for the super chat. You're the first super chat of the day, so thank you very much for the $5 there. On a scale of 1 to 10, how excited are you about GoPro's earnings? Well, if 1 is like the most excited ever, I would probably be a 2 because they blew me out of the water. Like, it was phenomenal earnings. I was not expecting that kind of good earnings, especially in a quarter like we were in right there. Saw the smile from yesterday's video during the whole video. Yeah, I mean, when your number one investment just blows it out of the water like that, and especially when it's a stock that's given me so much trouble, that just freaking pumps you up. That's all I have to say about that. I was so freaking psyched. I have an idea of starting a local door-to-door professional car cleaning business. Lots of nice looking cars owned by old people. Any thoughts on suggesting where to start? Make business cards. Go, I don't know if you're talking about old people as far as like retirees. Go to those communities, put the card on their door. Or if you see someone out, give them a pitch real quick. Hey, that car looks beautiful. That's such a beautiful car. Get their little confidence up there and say, hey, I'll come by and clean your car every week or whatever for $20 or $50 or however much you charge. And that's the way of doing it. You just go slowly but surely, knock on doors and go that route at the end of the day, guys. But do business cards as well, pass them out indoors and things like that. And then if you get to the point where you're starting to make good money, then you can start doing some social media marketing and specific zip codes and stuff like that on Facebook and some of those platforms. Norman, Sarah, thank you for the $1 euro there. I appreciate that. All right, what else do we have? What am I looking at when I read a 10K and 10Q? Everything. You need to read that 10K inside and out. And then over time, as you read more and more, you can decide what you want to pay attention to and what you kind of want to filter out and things. But in the early days, you need to read every page of that 10K and 10Q. And I know it's long. And reading a 10K or 10Q, that's the best way of telling if you're really meant for the stock market. If you can't really read a 10K and 10Q, and you're not into it and you're just like, oh, this is freaking horrible, don't even mess with the stock market, or especially if you're a long-term investor. That stuff's critical in making long-term decisions on a company, in my opinion. So what do you think about REITs? A lot of REITs I don't like right now, especially ones that are involving anything with malls, anything with real estate that has to do with malls, like a lot of those REITs, strip malls, anything like that, I'm really scared of over the next 5-10 years. So I'm not a big REIT guy. Let's just put it that way. Received a ton of information from your channel. Thanks for all the great info. Do you have a website as well? I'm glad you enjoy the information. That means a lot to me. And I do not have a website. I am super active on Snapchat. That's the second most active place I am. Other than that, Instagram would be the third place I'm the most active. And then after that, Twitter. Twitter, I hardly ever do anything on Twitter, to be completely honest. But if you want to follow me anywhere other than here, you're going to want to follow me on Snapchat. All right, what do we got here? Is good to withdraw stock before or after earnings calls? Depends on if you're in it for the short term. If you're in it for the short term, absolutely you want to be trading around that. If you're in it for the long term, no, because why would you? It's a long-term decision at the end of the day. Why do you invest in speculative companies? Well, it depends on what your definition of speculative. What your definition of speculative is versus my definition, two total different things. Any company you invest in, any company is speculative. I don't care what company it is. I don't care if it's Coca-Cola. I don't care if it's Facebook. I don't care if it's Google. Everything is speculative at the end of the day. There's obviously levels to speculation, and you can decide on those depending on your if you're investing for the long term, then it's all about, can you see around the corner? Do you understand where their business is going? Those kinds of things. A lot of stock market investing comes down. One of the reasons I've been so successful in stock market investing over my career is I make good business decisions. I can see around the corner and some of those kinds of things, and I do the work to understand it at the end of the day. So I wouldn't call any of my investments speculative, or I guess you could, but every stock's fucking speculative at the end of the day, so that's just the way it goes. At what age did you start investing? 19. Start looking into, I think, at 18 though. What's your favorite stock of all time? My favorite stock of all time that I've held? My favorite stock of all time that I held was either probably Cirrus Logic or Cabela's. Obviously, Cabela's I made the most money on, so it's probably my favorite stock ever. King Digital was probably one of my other favorite stocks I ever held, because King Digital, I could literally see the rankings of where games were, because Apple and Google both they both show you the games that are made the most money that day. So I could track it day in and day out, and it was freaking phenomenal. I could see, Candy Crush is ranked such and such place. Candy Crush Soda Saga is ranked such and such. Farm Heroes, that was so cool. So that's definitely one of my favorites ever. Thoughts on Square? I use Square for my business, and it's a good company, but I don't know. I think that's another one of those companies that has a really high valuation, but I would have to look into it. I haven't really looked into the stock super in depth. What do you do? What do you do? Where did that comment go? I was just reading. What do you do against short-term greed? What do you do against short-term greed? Not sure what that means. You got to fight the greed. That's all I know. Thoughts on airline stocks? Delta, Love. Airline stocks, I mean, it's pretty good because it's kind of like a little monopolized industry, I like to call it. You got really like 3 or 4 true major airline competitors, and it's hard to get in airlines because you need so much capital to get involved. My only problem with those airlines is if and when oil prices ever go up again, that could obviously hurt the airlines big time there. So right now they're just making money hand over fist. So J Money, any thoughts on Nintendo stock? No thoughts on a Nintendo stock. How can you know a company's financial statement release date? That's a press release. Usually pretty much every company does a press release at least a few weeks, if not a month, before they come out with their numbers, so you can see that. Yahoo Finance has them. You can Google, whatever company, Apple or whatever, they probably released a press release. Go to the investor relations page. They usually do a press release before numbers are reported and say, hey, we're going to do it on August 25th or whatever at 2 o'clock. So that's how you do that, investor relations page. I have the same ear. Oh, do you really? These Bose ones? Yeah, they're pretty good for this type of stuff. I wear over the ear when I'm listening to music, but these are good for talking to customers and doing this and stuff like that. What do you think about JCPenney's? I don't really like very many retailers out there, so it's hard for me to get behind JCPenney's or Kohl's or any of those names. Headed to Q3, is GoPro still a go to reach a profitable business? On a non-GAAP basis, yeah. On a GAAP basis, they probably won't start being profitable until Q4, and then I truly believe in 2018 they will be GAAP profitable overall in 2018. So, Yeah, that's kind of where we're going with that. And it's possible Q3 will be non-GAAP profitable. It's completely possible. It depends on how much marketing they do and those kinds of things. What for you is the best form of technical analysis? I do zero technical analysis. I don't care about the technicals. All I care about is long-term fundamentals of a company, overvaluation, undervaluation, where the company's going over the next few years, balance sheets, all that good stuff. Do you think it's possible Congress will pass antitrust legislation to weaken or break up Amazon? It's possible, but no time soon, in my opinion. Like, it would have to be way down the road. Amazon needs to get way bigger than they are currently. You think about how big Walmart was in the heyday, and Walmart's making all the little businesses go out of business. And if you're anything older than 30 years old, you remember all that. Walmart would try to come in a city, and people would be holding up picket signs. Walmart, they're stealing our jobs, and this and that, and they're putting everybody out of business. And Walmart never got broken up at the end of the day, guys. So Amazon would need to get drastically bigger than it is currently for government to actually step in and break it up. In my opinion, that's just kind of the way I see it. Opinion on diversification. As you get older, diversify more and more. For now, for me at my age and in my level of being in the game and those kinds of things, I'm in usually 3 to 5 stocks, maybe 3 to 6 stocks most of the time. But if I was 47 years old, I would be in at least 10 to 15 stocks. If I was 57 years old, I would be in at least 15 to 25 stocks. Like, you want to get more diversified as time rolls on. But when you're younger, you can, if you're really into stock market like that, you can go into just a few companies there. If you're a stock picker. And if you're not and you don't have the talent for it, or you don't have the work ethic, then just invest in an index fund or whatever, that's fine. All right, what else do we have here? Looks like we're approaching an hour here in about 8 minutes, so I'll probably jump off around the hour mark. Do you see a bubble in the housing market? Not currently. Well, I mean, places like LA make me real scared when I see some of the prices these houses go for in LA. I'm just like, how are they going for these prices they're going for in LA? So there are some markets, but most markets I'm not that scared about a housing bubble anytime soon. And some of the prices in Manhattan and LA is just ridiculous, guys, ridiculous. Can you please start an online class? I'll be your first student, sir. I'm 19 and want to start and invest. Online class, I kind of treat my channel like it's my online class, kind of, but I won't say I'll never do that, but YouTube's kind of my online class day in and day out. How much money do you put in a stock? Depends. Depends on if it's a big investment of mine, a small investment. Usually I don't go into a stock super heavy right off the bat anymore. I used to do that back in the day where I would go super heavy into a stock. Now I kind of goes more slowly into a stock and some of those kinds of things, guys. Sam Gastro, thank you for the $5 super chat first off. Rental RE investing versus index funds. Oh, so rental real estate investing versus index funds. I've heard it's a wash, but I like to be more clinical report and researching this. I don't know. I mean, honestly, a lot of it, index funds, obviously, you literally can only decide on how much the market goes up or down. Like, if this market goes up a lot, you're going to make money. If the market goes down a lot, you're going to lose a lot of money. So you don't have really much control. Rental real estate, if you're really good at that and you really take the time to understand properties, property values, what you can get for rent, what are the best modifications you can use for a property, you can make way more money doing rental real estate investing, going that route. But it just depends on what you want your passion to be, what you want to do. But index funds, the only thing that stinks is literally, if the market goes up 8%, you're probably going to go up 8%. And that's all you can do. Whereas rental real estate, you might be able to get a 50% return on that in the first year just because, you picked a great property at a great price and you did a few things to fix it up and somehow, you get a great rental rate on that. Norman Sarah, thank you for the €2. Is Super Chat also a good way for passive income? No, it's not a good way for passive income. It's not really a good way. I mean, look at how few Super Chats we've had and look at how many people have been on and jumped off. It's probably, there's been like 200 people consistent. So I wouldn't say it's a good income stream or passive income stream because in a live stream, like, you're giving away an hour of your time, so you're making active income, and usually live streams aren't viewed very much past a day or two after they're done and things like that, guys. What's your top 3 safest long-term stocks? If I had to pick 3, oh boy, that's putting me on the spot there. I would say probably Apple, say probably Google, and then I would say Apple, Google, and that kind of stinks because they're both tech related. Oh boy, what's the third one? That's such a hard one. Oh my gosh. Apple, Google, I don't know, man. I don't even want to say a third company, but like Apple and Google, I just view those ones as so safe. There's just it's so hard to take a big chunk of their business over the short term and long term. It's like, but yeah, oh man, I want to pick a third stock. I just don't know. What percent of your portfolio do you invest? Right now, I'm probably about 60% invested in stocks and options and 40% cash. I'm holding a lot of cash right now. Way more cash I'm holding right now than I've ever held ever. And that's because a lot of stocks are just overvalued. A lot of stocks aren't a great deal right now. So I'm just kind of at a point where I'm holding a lot of cash, hoping that maybe a stock market correction or something happens like that. So I'm holding more cash than I've ever held. I know I can tell you that much. When will you buy Snapchat stocks? If it goes down under $10, I will absolutely buy. If it goes down to 12, maybe 11, possibly, but not promising anything. The only price I would absolutely invest in Snapchat, without question, is under $10. Oh, share, excuse me. How do you know when to purchase shares in a company like Apple? How do you know when to purchase shares? I don't even know what that question means. How would you invest $420 in yourself? Invest $420 in yourself and get a sick return on that, because that's going to stay with you for life. What are your thoughts on Berkshire Hathaway? Berkshire Hathaway, great running company. It'll be interesting to see how that company's run Warren Buffett, he's 80, what's Warren Buffett now, 85, 86 years old? So, and he's like a legend to me, but someday he's going to die or retire, and it's probably going to be soon as far as retiring, right? Because I'm sure he's not going to work till his death day, or something like that. So you got to figure his retirement's coming up. It'll be real interesting to see how that company's run after his death. He's the type of guy that maybe he's a good enough teacher that he's taught, the new guys to run the company right. But it's a good company. Berkshire Hathaway, that might be the third stock. Because they're so diversified in their businesses and whatnot. They got so much cash in that balance sheet. Honestly, yeah, probably Apple, Google, Berkshire Hathaway. Those are the 3 safest companies I would say out there as far as safety goes. I just turned 18. What is the best piece of advice you have for a young investor? Believe in yourself. Believe in yourself more than anybody else. Don't let me or the guy on TV tell you what stock to invest in or what stock not to invest in. You can listen to everybody. You can want to hear it. But as far as making your decision because a guy on TV said don't buy that stock or buy this stock, so you go buy it, don't do that. Do it because you're doing it, because you've made that decision. That's the only way you can live with yourself after that. All right, this live stream is almost wrapped up. Only a couple minutes left here, guys. Why do some stocks like Google have 2 ticker symbols? Well, because sometimes they do like a subsidiary off of the company, so they're split into 2 different ticker symbols. Some companies even do more than 2. They'll do like several different, and some even do like different markets, like Wynn Resorts, for instance. Like Wynn Resorts has a Macau segment too, which is ticker symbols like WYNNMF or something weird like that, like Wynn Macau. So sometimes they just do a subsidiary off of that, and then they come up with a new ticker symbol. And sometimes they keep it on the current stock market. They put it on, an Asian stock market or European or something like that. So, all right, what do we else? Do you use charts? Nope. If your parents were angry and you're 9, what would you do? Tell them sorry and fucking fix your life. No, I'm just kidding. No, I don't know. It depends on what's going on in your situation. What's your favorite techniques for the use of fundamental analysis? Is it free cash flow? It's all about balance sheet, income statement, and my outlook, my gut decision for the business and where the business is going over the long term. I don't have any thoughts on Nintendo. If you had a shorter stock, which one would it be and why? Good question. Man. Oh, boy. Well, see, the automakers would be one I would like, but at the same time, automakers already have such low PEs that I'm like, I don't think I would want to do automakers. Some of the REITs around malls and strip malls and things like that, I would be very tempted. Something around there, I think, would be something I would want to short. Um, Maybe a Netflix, but at the same time, with those explosive growth companies, no one cares about what they're making for profits and how much they're losing. So I don't know. That would be one I'd be tempted to do, but yeah, I'm not that much of a short trader anyway. Sometimes I'll buy short-term puts, but that's about it. All right, one last question here. What's the last question going to be we get here, Lee? We're running out of time. This is a good one for a last question. What do you forecast your net worth to be when you are 40? When I'm 40? Oh my gosh, guys, that's like a little over 12 years from now. What do I forecast? I don't know. It depends. Well, so far in my life, I made a successful stock market account up to 200K. I lost 100K in a year. I made a successful business to business. I made a successful business to consumer business. I've succeeded on social media. So I've done a lot of things, but I've never made a multi-million-dollar corporation. I think that's my next endeavor, and that will decide on whether. And I think it's going to be something totally unrelated to anything I'm doing now. Something totally unrelated to real estate, something totally unrelated to stocks, something totally unrelated to YouTube or anything like that. I think I'm going to make a multi-million-dollar corporation someday. I don't know how, but it's going to happen. Peace!